In today's video, we're going to be looking at the EA Gamecher MT5. So I'm looking at this one because it's super cheap, and that's usually not a great sign. However, a lot of people are interested in some of these almost discount EAs because it's a fairly low barrier to entry just to test it out and see how it does. And recognizing that there's probably a fair amount of interest in this one, I'm curious to dive in and see what exactly makes it tick. So the first kind of big red flag is this EA is suitable for any currency pair at any time frame. However, it performs exceptionally well on strong trending instruments such as gold on the M15. So the fact that he says it works on everything is not really a great sign because realistically, why would one trading strategy that works in the euro dollar work on the Aussie CAD, right? Yes, there might be some robustness is good if it can work across a few different assets, but saying that there's one magical strategy which works on everything is probably not a great sign. And it could be that he's using something which would work for a reasonable amount of time or a short amount of time, but probably doesn't have too much longevity. If you click the real-time results can be viewed anywhere, we only see one signal for a different bot. So perhaps he deleted the signal or it went boom, but who knows. Some of his other bots here I've reviewed in the past. I've looked at the pin bar, I've looked at the EA Gold stuff. They are definitely real strategies. I don't think there's any sort of history reader or blatant manipulation here, but many of them are just not amazing long-term strategies. I think there's a reason why he sells them more at a lower price point because a lot of beginners will use it, they'll see it, and they might get some sort of results, but somebody who's a more diligent investor might be less inclined to kind of go for this type of product, but usually more larger investors would go for a more premium product anyway. So he could have kind of carved out this niche in the market, whereas guys who were dipping their toes into bots, they just look for something which kind of works, which is kind of cheap, and this guy could have kind of marketed more towards that segment of the MQL5 marketplace. So looking at some of the settings here, he is very transparent. He's telling you exactly how this thing works, what the settings are, giving quite a bit of different information. So really a great thing here is that this is a real strategy from what I can ascertain. However, it really is trading like crazy, right? There's a ton of trades here. Your broker will absolutely adore you if you buy this bot. You're going to be like a rebate machine just generating so much commissions. Yeah, okay, so if we keep going through it, it's super high frequency. It looks like probably based on some sort of indicator in terms of how it's actually making trades here. Yeah, so let's run a back test now to ascertain a bit more in detail. I ran it on the M15 on gold, pardon me, and we are indeed seeing that it went boom. So I think it's just a super aggressive grid. And as you can see here, there's just a tremendous amount of trades, and they're overlapping, they're on top of each other. There's a lot of trades happening here. Kind of back to the point that especially as somebody who's selling a bot, this makes no sense. It almost looks like this would be the type of bot that somebody who's just trying to account churn to make money on commissions would sell. Because there's just so many trades. I don't know why they're not showing up here. I think I'm looking at the wrong dates. I think I ran January 1st onwards. Okay, I'll zoom out again, pardon me. Well, it was fairly quick to run, so I can try running it once more. Let me just run it with 1 minute open, high, low, close to be a bit quicker. Okay, now it seems to be working this time. It just didn't work on every tick based on real ticks, but now it's working perfectly fine on 1 minute open, high, low, close. Okay, so that's actually a really interesting insight, because it might be that he's, once again, to my earlier point, going after a less sophisticated bot buyer, somebody who's just kind of dipping their toes into the market, and that segment of the population might not know how to backtest properly. So they could have simply ran with 1 minute open, high, low, close. They could be running on bad data. And then if you see this equity curve, you think it's this magical tool which is going straight up. However, obviously, we all know, if you've been in this space for a while, that's simply not the case. And that's why we're seeing that if you were to run this on a real price feed, most likely it would just go boom. Because yeah, look at this quantity of trades. It's crazy. Every 10 minutes it's taking a trade. It's just ultra high frequency. Yeah, this thing is an account blower. It's the account blower 9000. Wow, this is way too many trades. I have no idea why somebody would take so many trades. I guess you can perhaps reduce the risk somewhere. Let's see if they have some sort of like low risk setting. Game changer, lot multiplier, so they are using that. Use money management, but they do appear to be using some sort of grid here. Go back to default, start, close, Magic EA, fixed distance, so it's clearly a grid. Yeah, like use hedge. Let's set this to false and see what happens. Because okay, it's still running a grid martingale even if you are telling it not to use hedge. So yeah, guys, this thing looks super, super high risk. Like, I think once again, it's kind of appealing to people who don't really know what to look for, but the level of orders it's opening, and especially he's recommending running it on gold, like, it looks just like a poorly designed grid bot. Like, there's nothing inherently wrong with grids if you like grids, but this thing looks to be a very, very poorly designed grid bot. It's just trading like so frequently. You're almost guaranteed to blow. And the fact that it's not optimized for any one pair, and it can run on supposedly every pair, like, that's not a great idea. So overall, this is a pretty bad grid bot. I would definitely stay clear. It just looks super dangerous. And there's plenty of, if you like grids, there's plenty of better ones out there. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.